Hello, everybody, and welcome to Murder on the Eberron Express. Tonight we'll be playing a module called Murder on the Eberron Express, created by Orla Dhuill, also at Naturally Orla on Twitter. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. And before we get started, I'd like everyone to go around, say hi, who you are, nice quick little thing, and then we'll get started. Let's start with Mr. Derek in the top left.
Hi everybody, I'm Derek Sword. Tonight, I will be playing Pontius Elsker, the scholar, and absolutely, definitely, probably not the murderer.
Panduh.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Panduh. I'm going to be playing Sledge tonight. Definitely not a murderer, so, that's great. I hope you guys are prepared to have a wonderful evening with us on board the Eberron Express.
Kappa.
Hi, my name is Kappa, or Christian. Doesn't matter. But I will be playing Mr. Tash. And I most definitely am not the murderer, though I'd like to shake the hand of who was.
Kris.
Hi, I'm Kris, and I will be playing Schaefer Darling. I'm way too good looking to get my hands dirty like this. You don't have to worry.
I'm next in the overlay. Hi, I'm Heir. I'm your dungeon master for the night. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. Dax.
Hi, I'm Dax. You can find me on Twitter at GM_Dax. And tonight I will be playing Alyndra Wolfska, that'd be Egan Backer's spouse and longtime confidant.
Mitch.
Hello, I'm Mitch D. I will be playing Buck Everhard, the lost heir to possibly the family fortune, as long as someone hasn't spent it all away. I may take a few pockets, a little bit of jewelry, but I definitely am not in the business of murdering anybody.
Eva.
Hello, I'm Eva, and I tonight am playing Silence Carcera, a tiefling aboard this dubious train. I am not this murderer.
And Wren.
Hello, I'm Wren. Tonight I'll be playing the role of Hestor Dhuill, the unfortunate attendant to the decedent, the most loyal retainer, and honestly the most grief-stricken by this travesty. When I'm not pretending to be sad about someone's death, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Thorny Dryad. It's like a prickly bush.
Very well then. Let us begin. All of you are aware of Egan Baker. Whether you are his spouse, or a loyal retainer, or maybe their current fling. Regardless, over the last week or so, he has asked every single one of you to accompany him on a train ride to Fairhaven on Dare. You all know that Egan Baker is a dragon-marked heir of House DeCannith, the dragon-marked house of the House of Making. His mother was exiled from the house, and he has been trying to get into Cannith South's good graces for quite a while. However, that he has been rebuffed, and they basically said, screw you. So he is on his way to Cannith West up in Fairhaven to try and petition the head of the house up there to let him join the dragon-marked House of Making. So, you all find yourself at the train station for the Lightning Rail Express, a new express line of the Lightning Rail. It's faster, smaller, and doesn't need to transport troops now that the war is over. Egan Baker, a young human man, dark hair, an intricate, which you all know is not a scar or a tattoo, but a birthmark, covers his neck and approaches the train, ready to board with his lovely spouse and a large warforged carrying some bags. Sledge, how about you introduce your character as Egan Baker approaches you ready to board the train, and describe yourself.
I am an orc, so I'm quite large, but I'm pretty put together. I'm a little dapper. Definitely thin out the role of a conductor. I approach Egan Baker, and I hold up my hand. Right, I'm gonna need your ticket. No exceptions. Hand it over.
Of course, Sledge. And he hands you his ticket. No issues, right? Everything is as it is? Everything is fine, correct?
Everything's fine. On you go. Get a move on.
He gives
You
you
ain't got all day.
He gives you a nod, and before he walks past you, pats the large warforged on the shoulder, and the warforged goes stand near the rest of the baggages that will be loaded into the cargo car. Since Egan just boarded, would you like to go next, Alyndra?
Sure. I'll walk up to Sledge and... You look awfully familiar. I feel like I've seen you before.
Well, I've just got one of them faces, you know? As what looks awfully familiar, apparently.
I'll squint at you a little bit, and then I'll hand over my ticket.
Right. Looks good. On you go.
Alright. I will board the train.
And now it is a free-for-all. Approach as you see fit.
Pontius will enter next, sure. Pontius is a half-elf. You could tell that from his ears and his shorter stature. He has darker blackish hair with silver strips into it. He's carrying a large stack of very aged leather tomes that he's carried with him this entire time. But yes, he's dressed in what you would all recognize as the regalia of Mulgrave University, the most premier university in all of Corvair, of course. Sir, Conductor, I suppose. I will need the utmost privacy in my cabin, if you don't mind.
Well, I can't promise too much, but I'll do what I can. This is a reputable coach. You'll get the best we can offer, and that's all I can offer.
I see. Well, I suppose that'll have to be good enough then. My ticket, sir.
Right, that looks good. On you go. Well, come on. Haven't got all day. Train's got to move. Choo choo. Up on or up off.
Can I say that I was already on the train? No.
No. Nope. Sorry.
I approach. You the conductor?
Well, last time I checked, that's what the hat says. And I point at the hat.
Given my ticket, everything should be in order. Tell me, is there secure storage on this locomotive?
Of course, only the most secure. Haven't you heard of the Eberron Express? Most secure train this side of the rails. I make so myself.
One would hope so. I'd like to go take a look at that immediately.
Right. Well, your ticket looks good. Oh, okay, on you go.
Thank you very much. And your name?
Oh, I'm Sledge. Sledge.
Sledge.
Swift Thunder.
Swift Thunder. I'll remember that. Name's Mr. Tash.
Oh, Mr. Tash. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Silence at this point would have come up behind Mr. Tash. And is just holding out her ticket and heaving a great sigh.
Right, that's a ticket. That'll get you on board.
Thank you. Is that all?
Oh, I don't know. Is that all? Anything I should know about?
No.
Okay, well, on you go. Get going.
Buck would saunter on behind Silence, probably giving her a good once or twice over from behind with a slight grin as she walked away. This the train everybody says secure as can be, huh? Is that what I heard?
Well, yeah, secure as can be.
Hmm.
And then I kind of... You can't beat that. You can try. You won't, but you can try.
Hey, some things work a little bit better than muscle. He'll hold up the ticket to hand over.
Right, that looks like a ticket. I flip it over. Yep, that's a ticket. All right, on with you.
As he walks by, he'll just mumble under his breath, I wonder how good the locks really are.
So the entire time this has been going on, I have been leaning on one arm against the wall, talking to a very pretty passenger whom I don't know. But finally, kind of tuning in, listening to the call, I'll turn around and approach the train. I mean, you know who I am. Do you really need my ticket?
Yes, I really do.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I will produce it. It says Schaefer Darlin on there, but I just go by Darlin if you don't mind.
All right, darling. Yeah, that's a ticket. On with you.
I'll head on board.
Well, suppose that would leave me. I'd been standing, watching everyone else board, taking note of some of the folks that I would recognize, and I approach the conductor, a tall-ish looking man with kind of ashy blonde hair, and it's done up messily in a haphazard bun, wearing a fairly put-together suit with a purple ascot and gray vest, etc. I'm carrying nothing on hand except a small pocketbook, and from it I produce my ticket and display it. I look to you, Sledge. Nice to see you, sir.
Right, well, it's good to see you can make it. Ticket, please.
Already have it.
Oh, excellent. Good to see one of you is prepared. Right, it's a ticket. It looks legit. On you go.
Before I enter, is there any way you might tell me what the accommodations are for Master Backer?
Oh, I believe they're the ones you paid for.
Well, can you give me the car number?
I don't know. I'll have to read the rule book on that one. It seems like confidential information. Conductor, passenger privilege, and all that.
Very well. I'll just go look for him myself. He never tells me anything, and then I'll just board the train.
After you have all boarded the train, of course, all of you are first-class passengers. Egan Baker has commandeered all of the first-class cars for your group. It's probably like another 20 minutes as all the second-class passengers board and all the other workers load your belongings into the cargo hold, including blue shield, as you know, Alyndra, Egan Baker, and yours, Warforged Bodyguard. As you all board, you board directly into the first class cabins. Very plush velvet. There is a dining car, a loaded bar, as well as all of your individual rooms. After about these 20 minutes, you all hear the telltale sign of the whistle, and you make your way to Fairhaven. The travel is probably be about 3 days. It's very fast. Throughout this entire time, Egan Baker has been boastful, talking about how he is ready to be accepted into Cannith West, as well as constantly showing off his invention that got him this privilege, which is a probably like yay big device, a firearm, so to speak, which does not need to be powered by arcane magic. You do not need to be a spellcaster to use it, and he has it on his breast in a holster. And essentially, the first 2 days is just him bragging about this, and it's so quiet because of a silence enchantment on it, and blah, blah, blah. Besides putting up with his insufferableness throughout these first 2 days, please tell me, what are y'all doing? How do you amuse yourselves and keep yourself busy throughout your trip?
You don't see a lot of Pontius. He keeps himself mostly to his cabin. He has much studying to do. But when you do see him, he tends to keep to himself. Might grab a drink every now and then. But I think his conversation may be a bit above the heads of everyone else here.
I probably stick close to Egan's side, just as every dutiful wife should. Sipping on champagne and trying my best not to roll my eyes where he can see me.
Hestor would, well, I would be nearby, Egan, making sure that he's not getting himself into any trouble, naturally. Cleaning up anything he drops, the usual. And in between events or presentations or whatever it is he likes to call them, Hestor would slip away, and you might see him looking for a particular train car, maybe vanishing for hours at a time.
Mr. Tash is always watching Mr. Baker from afar. Drinking glass in hand with a very dark liquid, and once or twice you'd see Mr. Tash engaging in conversation with dearest Alyndra. Throughout the 2 days, you see his expression grow colder and more angry, the more and more he boasts.
Darlin is simultaneously everywhere and nowhere to be found. Most frequently spotted in the dining car, trying to get card games started, hanging out around the bar, just seeing, whose lips might be loose for whatever purpose. But generally just having a good time.
Buck would spend most of his time in the first class staying away, a little bit of a distance. Definitely staying away from Alyndra. Keeping a watchful eye as to make sure there is no real close interaction between him and her. The rest of the time, he'd be darting off back to the second class cabins, spending some time looking for any certain him or her that might have a nice look to him or be interested in, say, seeing what first class looks like.
Silence would spend most of her time, quite a lot of it in her cabin, but otherwise, probably in the bar car, reading periodicals and having a nice quiet drink, and just seeing who's around doing what. Probably swishing her tail in annoyance.
Is that everybody?
I mean, I'll be doing my job, just making sure nothing goes awry on my train. Maybe stopping a drunken scuffle or two, big old cans cover a lot of small human chest, so they can't get very far when they're stopped in the tracks now, can they? Unlike this train, which is definitely not stopped in its tracks because it's moving very fast. I don't recommend putting your body parts out of it.
Yes, it is moving extremely fast. It is the night of the second day. Close to midnight. You all eventually head off to bed. You all see Egan Baker at the bar having a talk with Mr. Tash. Eventually everyone makes their way out, and the dawn of the final day arrives. Sledge, after you went to bed,
What?
you woke up for your morning rounds. Check everything, make sure it's okay. Everything's working correctly, clean, nothing going wrong. And you walk into the bar car, and you find Mr. Egan Baker of House to Kenneth slumped over the bar, a pool of blood coming out from his chest. How do you react?
Oh, man. I really don't want to clean that mess. And I poke him with a very meaty finger. I mean, he's obviously bleeding out, so, poking him's not going to win, but I do it anyway, just reactionary. Well, that's not good. And I kind of, I try to pull him back, more upright, or so he's not slumped over. I pull him back up.
Dead weight. Literal dead weight.
Oh, he's gotten a little chubby since the old days. And I kind of just grab him by the scruff of his collar. Oh, that'll kill him, man. Ah, cripes. And then I gently put him back down and kind of step away and fold my arms to my chest. Well, that's not great. I wonder how I'm going to explain that one.
As you do gently lay him back down, he slips and his body falls to the ground with a loud thud. It's not completely audible to everybody, but it is enough to show that something is amiss in the bar car. Does anyone go investigate?
I will. I imagine probably woke up, and my husband was nowhere to be found. And while that is not exactly unusual, there's only so many places he could be. So I'm going to start wandering and make my way to the bar car where I last saw him.
You find your husband on the floor, a pool of blood on the counter, and Mr. Sledge standing near the body.
Oh my word, you've killed my husband.
Oh,
Murder! There's a murderer on the train! And I'm just gonna start running down the walkway that I just came, and I'm gonna be knocking on doors. Murder! The conductor's murdered my dear husband!
Oh, no, ma'am, no, I did not murder anybody. You know what would happen to me if I murdered somebody on my train? Well, I'd lose my job. Oh, Why would I want to lose my job? I love my job. I've got a wife and kids. They love my job too. Oh, I didn't kill nobody. He killed himself. That's what the drink does to you. Maybe his liver exploded or something. I've seen it happen before.
This is very loud to everyone else in the train because Alyndra is knocking on everybody's doors and like yelling very loudly.
I'm screeching. And for those of you that actually heard that in your headphones, I am so sorry.
As they're going back and forth, I just slip behind Alyndra, almost like a shadow, and I say quietly to her, Miss Baker, what's the matter?
Are you deaf, Hestor?
No, I am simply trying to process what it is you're saying. It's ridiculous.
I would like to grab you by the ascot and pull you in close. I said the conductor has killed my husband. If you don't believe me, you can just go into the dining car and see it for yourself.
I shall do so forthwith, and I will brusquely pull my ascot from your hand. Excuse me.
Upon hearing Lynn's voice in this altercation, Mr. Tash would leave his room. Lynn is... Calm down. Is everything okay?
I'll, swish around real quick.
What is this talk of murder?
Taryn, I'm gonna come forward and try to get you in a hug, if you'll allow it.
I will allow it, but is very stiff.
Fair. Mine's not exactly warm and melting either. Taryn, I found the train conductor standing over Egan's body in the dining car. There was blood everywhere.
He will separate the embrace and look you in the eyes. Yeah, glasses off. Your husband is dead?
Dead as a doornail.
Come. It's not safe for you here.
As you're speaking, you hear a muffled shout of abject horror and anguish come from the dining car where the body is.
Oh, sounds like Hestor's found the body. Pull out a fan and just... Got my nerves all shot. I haven't felt like this since the war.
Is the dining car different from the bar car?
Let me just look at my handy dandy map.
Yeah, I'm
no, the dining car and the bar are in the same area. There are four tables with booths and chairs, and a separate area with a bar with chairs.
Then I will take Lynn further away from the bar car just to remove her from the situation. Get some space.
Pontius, silence, darling buck.
Pontius is... he comes out of his cabin. I heard the screaming. Was somebody yelling about a perjurer? Is that what it was? Somebody lying? I'm sorry. Anyone? What's the hubbub?
It's too early for this.
It's probably 6 a.m. by the way.
Oh, God.
It's early.
Buck would have
Actual
popped his
time
head
doesn't
out.
change anything.
Did someone say murder? What? No. Hold on. Yeah, I know, girl. Shush. Hold on.
He just said perjured.
Oh, okay. Cool. No
That's
big
what
deal.
I heard.
And close the door.
Please, it was indeed a murder. Perjure is not on the table. Can you not see that Lynn is distraught?
It's an abstract term. Of course, it's not on the table.
I feel like there's 3 strings going here, and I feel like the most important one is that, I'm sorry, there has in fact been a murder.
Where is this murder?
And Mr. Tash will motion towards the dining car.
Darling, I fell asleep at my vanity last night, so this is all super loud and really annoying and way too early for this. So I wake with a start, kind of check my appearance really quick, just make sure, okay, I'm ready. All right, let's go deal with whatever bullshit this is. And I will get up and exit my quarters, just kind of languidly watching everybody freak out. What's going on?
For those of you that do end up walking back into the dining car, besides the fact that there is a dead body on the floor, there is also a lot of blood on the bar. There is a mostly empty bottle of brandy sitting on the top of the bar. It actually was knocked over when Egan fell to the floor, so there is some brandy intermingled with the blood a little bit. Waste of brandy, but what are you gonna do? And his firearm is also sitting on the counter.
Well, shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say the drink finally got him, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Are you a doctor now?
No, but I am an expert in many things.
As
What are you?
As I cradle Egan's body, I look up and say, especially an expert with a lack of decorum. A man is dead, and you sit here and make jest.
Well, I think the term man in this case is a loose one. He was a scoundrel, but I think you know that.
I stand up with a start. Pardon me, sir. You would speak ill of the dead so quickly? His corpse is not even cold.
Is it?
Oh, it's a little cold.
How long has he been here?
If someone wants to examine the body, you can roll me a medicine check.
All right, I guess that's me.
As this is going on, Buck would have finally made his way into the car, pulling his vest up over himself, tucking his shirt in.
As you finally make your way into the
14.
car, a young, pretty thing kind of ashamedly runs past all of you back to the second class car. Pulling a... Looks like they just pulled their clothes back on.
As she runs by me, anybody close enough, so probably just Taryn would have heard, well, isn't that nice if you like that sort of thing?
Silence. You know that the body, just by looking at it and how stiff it is, as well as its temperature, you know that Baker has been dead between 1 and 5 hours. So somewhere between midnight and 5 a.m.-ish.
Well, I would say between midnight and 5 a.m.
You would also remember that when you were getting ready for bed, what time would you have gotten ready and left the dining car?
In the morning?
Last night, yes.
Gotten ready.
How early would you have gone to bed?
Oh, okay. Wrong direction. 11.
You're probably one of the last ones to leave. I feel also, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like darling also would have gone to bed pretty late as well.
I mean, I retired quite early, but that doesn't mean I was sleeping.
That's fair. But Silence, you remember when you left for bed. You remember seeing Mr. Tash drinking at the bar with Egan before you left.
I remember it. I'm not saying anything at the moment.
Now, Lynn, are you sure you're going to be okay?
Yes, I'll be just fine. I mean, like I said, it's not like I haven't seen a dead body before, just a little bit of a shock, that's all. Is it hot in here? Is it just me?
Is it clear at all how he died? You said that there was blood. Is this... I guess Pontius would like to investigate the firearm and see if it had been fired recently.
Sure. You can roll me a investigation check.
While that's going on, I believe Lynn and I will start making our way over to the dining car.
That was a 26.
Pontius, for your well-learned mind, you are easily able to pick up on the little details of the crime scene, essentially. Quickly glancing over the body and the bar, it's really obvious how he died. He was shot with a firearm. He was shot twice in the back, and just based off the angle and where you find the bullets, he was shot twice in the back with someone standing directly over him while he was slumped forward on a table. You still see the bullet holes lodged in the wood of the bar.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose this is the murder weapon then. I probably shouldn't be holding this. He will set it right back down. Does appear as if this man was assassinated.
You don't say.
Mm-hmm. My friends, I believe there is a murderer amongst us.
Is any single one of us actually your friend?
Again, terms are being used that are loose in this connotation. I don't like any of you. I didn't even like him. But I also am not fully comfortable with not knowing about a murderer in close proximity to me.
To you? Well, he can't be murdered. That's illegal. Who would do such a thing? I mean, he was a right bastard, but like, to be law, you know, I mean, that's pretty bad too. And on my train, no less. I mean, do you have any idea what kind of paperwork the union will require for this?
No.
It's gonna be a nightmare.
Your priorities are also a nightmare. I just want to say that right up front.
Well, would you like to get where you're going on time? Because I figure that's kind of important now, isn't
really
it?
don't.
When are we supposed to arrive?
Sledge, you would know that you are supposed to arrive in a little less than 3 hours at Fairhaven Station. I don't know if you want to tell everybody or I should tell everybody. But you'll arrive at Fairhaven Station in about 3 hours, a little less than 3 hours.
Upon entering the dining car, seeing everyone here, well, looks like Mr. Baker finally got what he deserved. Which one of you did this? I'd like to shake your hand.
I think the easier route is pouring us all a drink.
There's a bar
Buck's a
right
step
there.
ahead of that.
Idea.
Buck's already started behind the bar if the bartender wasn't there,
There's no bartender this early in the
reaching
morning.
for the top liquor for the best anybody wants. What's everybody drinking?
Well, a man of class, Mr. Everhard.
I don't know if I've ever been considered a man of class, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Well, I mean, you certainly have good taste. Gesturing back to the young thing that ran past all of us.
Hey, when you get to have first class and the finest things, you gorge until they take it away from you.
Here, here.
That's one interpretation.
It is odd that we all have a bit of a consensus. Well, I shouldn't say all of us. Looks to Hestor and kind of Alyndra. But it seems as if we all are perfectly comfortable with this man's death. So, to answer your question, Mr. Tash, I think it could have been any of us. Even you.
Oh, absolutely was not me. I'd be bad for business.
What sort of business are you in, Mr. Tash?
Ain't that the question? You see, I'd be in the same business as our dearly departed, if only you didn't cut me out of the deal many years ago. I have no idea why he invited me here, but we're in the business of making money.
I see. And you, though you shared drinks and words with him, didn't share a couple of bullets into his back?
Absolutely not. That's merchandise.
It's actually a surprisingly good answer.
Pontius.
But you conduct. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Pontius, what? Questioning me. What makes you so innocent in all of this?
Oh, I'm far from innocent, but innocent in this specifically. I will say this. I wish it had been me, but my hands are clean. No, I think that Mr. Baker was an absolute piece of donkey do, and I wish I hadn't said that particular phrase. But nonetheless, I was not the one to do the deed.
All right, this will be shorter if raise your hand if you actually cared to see him still alive. Okay.
Well, I
No,
mean,
wait
that's
just a minute here.
concerning.
I point to Hestor. I know why Hestor would want him alive. I'm gonna point to you, darling. Why exactly would you? We
I'm
all
sorry.
know how much of a trash person my husband was.
Why exactly wouldn't you, Alyndra?
I'm sorry, did you not hear the words that just came out of my mouth?
I mean, it's a fair question, you have to admit. You did not raise your hand.
Look, I may not have loved my husband, but it didn't mean that I murdered him.
Just
There are
wanted him
worse
dead by
things
any
for
other means.
society than a divorce. And you still have not answered my question.
I mean, I feel so guilty. I thought you knew. You know, I like pretty things just as much as anybody else. Anybody who's willing to give them to me, I'm not going to say no.
As realization hits me exactly who you are, I see. Well, I just love how you don't care what people think of you.
I mean, what could they think other than, God, what a gorgeous creature?
I could think of a few things that are not polite for company.
I like your style.
Pity I don't like yours.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Sledge and Hestor, What have you been doing as accusations and conversations have been had?
I would have been kind of like, maybe sliding away from the body, just a little, as inching away as much as an orc can, stealthily inch away from the clearly uncomfortable, body in the room. And I look at my hands, and there's like a little bit of blood from where I touch him, and I kind of just like, I take out a handkerchief, and I kind of just like try and wipe my hands off, and tuck it back in my vest here, in my breast pocket, and just kind of like shake my head. Nope, that never happened. Nothing bad never happened. Nope. Well, you guys are having fun with your murder mystery. I've got a train to run, so if you don't mind, I can just scoodly-doo.
Oh, no,
Not-
you don't.
Not
I think
so
we all
fast.
mind.
Conductor, lock the dining car to second class.
Right. And I kind of toddle along and lock the car.
Easy enough.
Oh, we care now after.
Can I get a look at the conductor's keys as he's locking the car?
Yeah, Sledge, are you making any effort to hide these keys? On what they look like?
No, it's pretty much a big ring of keys, all shapes and sizes. That's about 10 to 12.
And Pontius, you would notice that some of the keys have some kind of arcane symbols on them. You're well versed enough in magic to know that some of these are magical.
Okay.
If we're all going to be suspects, then no one is exploring any of the rest of the train. Simple. Now, I join Buck behind the bar and pull out a glass or two and set them on the counter. Typically, I would expect it to be a little early to drink, but GM, is there a replacement bottle of the brandy that was destroyed?
Yes, well, it was a glass. He didn't have a whole bottle.
Ah.
So there is a mostly full bottle of brandy.
Look at this. And I pull the brandy out from behind the bar. And I'll read the label. What's the label say?
You tell me.
Uh,
You'd give
I
me
don't
a fancy name.
Most alcohol does come from like a place with like necromancers, if you want to use any of that.
Dragon Shar of Lichfield.
Beautiful.
And I read the label, and is anyone in favor of brandy? And I
Me.
just kind of motioned the rest of the...
Are you saying, Hestor, that you're fine with drinking with Egan's murderer? Because
No,
that's exactly what you'll be doing.
but I at least have two people to suspect at this point, and I set the bottle back down on the counter.
As you are all pouring drinks, Buck does stumble a bit and spill a bottle of liquor across the bar.
Sorry about that, guys.
Careful.
Pats down, accidentally spilling the brandy in the process.
You nervous there, buddy?
No, just a little tired from last night. If looking towards the second class door and back at Darwin, just a little tired. You know how it goes.
That's fair.
Does
That
does
comes out of
he
me. That
smell
comes out of me bonus.
like drink?
Do you smell of drink, Buck?
Well, I would now. I just spilt it all over the place.
Fair.
Pretty much emptying the bottle in the process.
There's plenty of alcohol behind the bar. But that specific
Alyndra.
bottle.
I'm confused about if you are not too sad he's dead, why are you bothered about drinking with the murderer?
Well, generally, If someone's willing to kill one person, they have no qualms about killing another. How do you know that any of us are going to survive the rest of this portion of the train trip?
I mean, who here is, let's just say, on the same level as Mr. Baker? Who else has secrets? Unlikability. Other words. Mixed company, you know.
Speaking of secrets, what is your story? And he will address silence at this point.
Along with the rest of you, some of you have very obvious connections to Mr. Baker. Alyndra is, well, now a widow, but was Mr. Baker's spouse. Hestor is a retainer, helps him with day-to-day tasks. Mr. Terran apparently is an old business partner, and a couple others, though very odd. Doesn't seem to have any specific connection, and yet he asked all of you to come in some way or another. Except for Mr. Swift Thunder, of course. He works here.
Me. I was born in a small town. I attended school. I am not sure why you care so much about my life story.
Just trying to get to know everyone here and, to put it blunt, figure out their motivations.
My motivation for murder is not great. But he's dead, so who might argue?
So what should we do then? I agree with Alyndra on this. I don't want to be in the company of a murderer. Perhaps we should try to figure out who that is.
I think that's an excellent idea, Pontius. Finally, your big brain is coming to use for something.
And your big mouth as well.
All right.
Now,
And how do we propose to do this?
What were you going to say, Hestor?
I would kind of look pointedly at Pontius. You'll have to pardon me, sir, but I have been with Mr. Baker for many years, and I have no recollection of you in any way whatsoever. What, pray tell, would you be doing here? Besides throwing accusations and speaking ill of the dead?
I had the great misfortune of encountering Mr. Baker on some few occasions, each one worse than the last. If you spent several years with the man, I pity you more than any other creature I've ever known.
Mind your tongue, sir.
The man was awful.
A shrewd businessman. And the envy of his contemporaries.
A gun runner who sold to all sides during the war. Let's be honest about things.
I've heard jealousy can make the perfect excuse for fits of passion.
Sure. I didn't like the man. I'm going to be completely upfront about that. I'm glad he's dead. But I did not do the deed. I also wonder about passion on the other side, Hestor. Sometimes we can overdo things when we're trying to hide our motivations.
And the insinuation here would be
No insinuation at all, just an observation.
Well, Hestor, if you want to talk about jealousy, and I'm just going to kind of like glance over at Darling, there are plenty more that would be jealous of Egan and what he had than dear old Pontius here.
Like, Egan gave me everything he had. I've never wanted for anything.
Well, darling, there is just one thing you didn't have now, isn't there?
I am pouring something out of a flask into my drink as we speak. What's that?
There's only so much hiding in the dark, and sneaking around will get you.
I apologize if he was not forthright with you, but there was no sneaking to be done. I was very fond of Egan. Can you imagine me turning down all of the bevy of gifts he had to offer? Why would I want to lose that?
Sounds like she had it made. Why would anybody want to get rid of that?
I
Little
didn't
toast to
say that she
darling.
was I didn't say that they were willing to give it up. I was saying that Egan probably was ready to take it away, and the threat of losing that would drive anyone to murder.
Now, I will say that's a sound theory, but I got money of my own. I'm not worried about that. It's just nice to get the attention, you know? In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, you're the only one that directly benefits in a significant way from him dying.
Why would you say that?
Now, where would he leave all his money other than to his dutiful wife?
Oh, darling dearest, there was no money. Not from Egan, anyway. If he didn't sell this gun and didn't get into house to Kenneth, there wasn't going to be any money.
You would all know, at least a couple of you who have been with Egan for a period. So, Alyndra, Hestor, silence. Buck is supposedly Baker's son. An heir, so to speak.
The gun, Alyndra. The blueprints are worth money.
Your point being?
If you're not inheriting cash, some things are worth more.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, should we just who did it? Just raise your hand, we'll all close our eyes. No big thing.
Mr.
I won't close my eyes because I've got to drive.
Actually,
I don't recommend driving with your eyes closed.
you don't have to drive. There are 2 drivers in the front of the car. You're just in charge. Mr. Tash. It is very similar to what you and Egan created and worked together on in the past. You also, just observing it, know that it holds 4 rounds. There are 2 left. No safety.
Son of a bitch.
What now?
This man had no originality. This is my design. Simply a variation of it.
So then you would be the best one to operate it, is what you're saying.
I believe someone is trying to frame me, and I no longer wish to shake the hand of someone that would sully my name. Now, I believe if someone were trying to frame me, this would be someone that knows who I am, would understand that I have the means and the motive, and last night the opportunity to do the deed. All they needed to do was wait until I retired. Lynn, dear, you are one of these people.
But
Sorry. Okay. Silence. I don't know who you are, but I recognize that you might have known who Baker and I were back in the day. I will
And-
say that you two are my biggest suspects.
Interesting how you're deflecting when no one has accused you yet.
Oh, I believe I flat out accused him, but I believe we're getting nowhere with all of this. It's just words. Even if person we discovered who they were by some means, we'd still need evidence. So I propose that we do a little investigation. We can all split up, explore each other's cars, maybe perhaps find evidence.
I think that's a wonderful idea, Pontius. After all, the murderer would be the only one with something to hide, and would have a problem if we searched rooms.
Indeed.
Exactly, which is why we should do it all as a group. That way, if we split up, the murderer does not have a chance to abscond with any evidence for disposal.
Before y'all start running off and exploring, I would like. Who was the one who looked at the body? Was it Pontius?
Silence and Hestor.
Silence, Hestor. But I would also like Buck to roll medicine checks.
Right. Well, normally this, searching other people's rooms is kind of against the rules because it's an invasion of privacy. But if you're all okay with it, I'll let it slide this once.
Just
hope it
shove
saves
off
me some
with your
paperwork.
shove off with your rules. A murder has happened on your train, and you would like the reputation of your perfect ride to go tarnished?
Where's
Oh,
your
of course
cabin, Sledge?
My cabin is in the employees section, which is off limits. Good luck getting that. It's locked. I
Well,
have
Hestor,
the
that
keys.
hardly seems fair.
Hestor, Buck, and Silence, what did you roll?
17.
Dirty 20.
And Hester?
5.
I am going to message you Buck and Silence.
I don't think it makes much sense that you're the only one that doesn't get searched, given that you're the one with blood on your hands.
Valid.
I think there might be a way around this. And I would like to use minor conjuration to recreate the keyring.
Just, you are able to do so. You have a ring of keys that looks like Sledge's keyring.
It's only fair, Sledge.
That's not fair at all. That's cheating, that is. Oh, I didn't agree to that. There's no contract. You can't just magic me keys.
Look, Sledge. The first one found with the body is usually the prime suspect. If you want to clear your name, I suppose you let us into those rooms.
Well,
And because I know your priorities are so skewed, think of the Yelp review. It's dropping by the second, sir.
Mr. Sledge, quite frankly, I consider you a prime suspect as well. While I do not know the nature of your true relationship with Master Baker, I do know that he was blackmailing you for something a number of years ago.
Oh, is that so? You blackmailing me?
Oh, no, not me.
Oh, no, me. Sledge.
No.
That's me. I'm pointing to me.
I'm indicating that you're a suspect in this, regardless of whether or not you think you are.
How can I be a suspect? I didn't kill him. You only suspect people who did the deed, or
Well,
might have. I guess
If
I
you
might
did
have.
not kill him, then we can search your room and there will be no problem.
Well, if you really want to, I won't stop you, but just disregard some of the. Well, actually, it's nothing to really disregard, but just search away.
Let's.
Indeed. Might as well begin with the one who found the body. And I would like to use the keys to get into the off-limits employee section.
I just messaged you, but it's okay since
you?
you're going
Okay,
there right
sorry.
now. It's okay. I need you to, so you all have to go through the first class car to get access to the engine room, which is where the employees sleep. So there's a chef, 2 drivers, and the conductor on board, which is all there is staff. As you approach the door leading to the engine room, the keys in your hand that you conjured with minor conjuration disappear. Sledge, you know this is normal. And Pontius, with your degree from Morgrave and the fact that you are learned, can tell that there's some kind of anti-magic aura around the door. So your magic would have no effect. This is a conjured item. Poof.
Very clever.
This is for security, Sledge. If this
Nice.
the engine room is where the bound elemental is that powers the whole train. So, if people got access to that and did damage, that would suck.
Yeah. So I watch the key just kind of poof, and I let out like a really proper belly laugh, and I'm clap my hands. Oh well, I could have told you what happened, but your face, I had to see it. What's in there would kill you, and not in a nice way like a friend, but in a very dismemberment, smashy bits and pieces kind of way, and I don't think anybody would like that. So, no, don't go in there.
That's definitely an exaggeration, Sledge, because the elemental is bound. It is like trapped. You don't have to worry about it. But it would be very dangerous if it did get out.
Question.
Yes.
Does this door look like it could be pried open?
It is adamantine.
So no. Okay.
So, no.
Never mind.
The lightning rails, though they are run by House Orion, are actually made by House DeKenneth, and it is all very top tier, top notch. Very, very well made magical artifacts, essentially.
Sledge, are you going to open the door or not?
Are you trying to stall, buddy? Let's get in there.
That's no
You're only
stall at the
making
door.
yourself more suspect.
Well, I mean, I could let you in, but I wouldn't recommend it. You sure?
Your cabin is through here, yes?
Well, yeah.
Perfect.
You can call it that. It's really just a room, but I guess.
If you would just answer me with a simple yes or no, will you let us in?
Well, if my boss found out, I might get a write-up.
I said a simple yes or no.
I'm gonna have to say no. That's a negatory, sir.
I would like to walk up and punch Sledge in the gut.
Okay. You're just straight up doing this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, you don't have time to react, Sledge. This is a surprise. So Hestor, just Just roll me a quick unarmed strike against Sledge. And what's your AC, Sledge?
15.
Okay, so I'd like to spend that. Oh, let's see. I got a bonus attack with my offhand because I'm a monk. So my first one was a 1. So I need to hope for a better with the other one. And good lord, not doing so hot here. I'm sorry. Was a 13 gonna hit?
No.
No. Jeez.
Are we doing flanking rules? Because in this case, Pontius fully supports this and will act as an ally.
I would say you're not expecting this. So not at this exact point, no. Sledge, Hestor just kind of attacked you. Would you like any, and is anyone else doing anything as Hestor just tries to pummel the conductor?
I'm
From the
casting
back.
Calm Emotions.
Silence just blinks in surprise and stands there watching.
From the back, Buck goes, "Oh shit, here we go," and pulls out a small flask.
Before Taryn gets the spell off, do you have any reaction, Sledge?
Yes. I kind of like I do another big belly laugh, which for a massive orc is pretty terrifying, and I just go, "I know those moves. You studied them too. You gotta put a little more force, more hit. Yeah, swing the shoulder next time, eh? I'll show you later. Once we're off the train, then I'll show you how to throw a proper punch, mate."
Your spell goes off, Mr. Tash. What is the save, please? And
Sorry, I'm looking for the save.
what's the DC?
Charisma plus. Oh, hold on.
It's a charisma, and what's the DC?
Charisma is 16.
So everyone within range, who are you casting it on? And it is a 20-foot radius, so
Yep. Everyone in the area.
Yeah, this is gonna hit everybody. You can choose to fail if you would like, but everyone's gonna have to make it if you don't want to fail the throw willingly.
That was 16.
Yeah.
Success.
Fail.
That's a big old fail.
Charisma, correct?
Correct.
Success.
Also success with a 20.
I'm assuming.
I'm going to say willingly fail just because I've pulled this very ornate silver mirror out of my breast pocket and I'm just kind of admiring myself as we make our way, making sure I still look good.
For those of you who failed, your emotions are suppressed and you are calmed of any emotions that would probably cause you to harm someone.
Now,
Sledge. Go ahead.
now everyone, just please take a second. No need for punches for punches or violence. It's only gonna get in the way of this investigation that we've are beginning to conduct. Please.
Our business is to investigate Sledge's cabin. Sledge, if you don't let us through, I will literally poison you. Do you understand? I will spray poison in your face. Open this door. We'll all go and inspect your cabin together. And if you're fine, then you're fine. But you're seeming very suspect right now, I'll be honest.
Are we not still in an anti-magic area then?
Anybody who's directly in front of the door.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're not directly in front of the door. No.
What is it in my face? Oh, I spent a lot of time working on this thing. My wife loves it. It's one of the only reasons she married me. Oh, I hate to ruin that. Right, well, I guess we'll go forward then. Look, it's on your own head. Don't say I didn't warn you.
And I take out my keys and I unlock the door.
As Sledge unlocks the door, you are able to see into the engine car. You hear the sound of roaring lightning as you are able to peer in. And at the far end, you see a large crystal. I would say you're all familiar enough with dragon shards. They are able to harness and are used for a variety of magical practices, especially in creating things. And it sparks with lightning and electricity. And there are 2 other people manning the front and driving the car. Both look surprised as a basically big-ass group of you walk into the engine car. And they give you a look, Sledge. Like, what the fuck?
It's all right, boys. Let them through. They're just trying to solve a murder or something.
Murder?
Yeah, that old Baker's dead. Someone shot him twice in the back. Shake his hand, but it wasn't me. I guess I could shake my own hand, but it gets a little weird.
They look at each other. We'll send word to Fairhaven and see if we can get authorities to meet us at the station.
Okay, I guess. Just, yeah.
It's protocol,
that's
sir.
Yeah, you're right. Them's the rules. Got to follow the rules, or else we end up with murderers on board.
Did someone say the authorities? And then Buck starts innocently just kind of patting his pockets real quick. Steps back a little bit farther from the group.
One of them goes and runs off to, there's actually a couple rooms separate from the shard charged with electricity. They close the door. The other one stays at the front and continues to operate the lightning round. Sledge, you're the one that the other room that the driver entered is your room. And as you all can't fit at once, I am sorry. It's not that big for 8 people.
I'll stand back.
Okay. Anyone who is going in to Sledge's room? Pontius and Hestor.
I'll go if there's room for a third.
Sure. There's definitely room for 3, just not 8. Sledge's room is neat, tidy, and nothing, as you start to look around, nothing seems weird or off. You do find a wand resting on a table, as well as a schema, which is essentially a blueprint of the train on the table next to his bed. But that's all you find.
And that would be after, like, searching under and in and...
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what these rolls were for earlier.
Yep. Just making sure. All right. Well, nothing of consequence here.
Nothing that directly implicates him, at least.
I'll come back out and, Conductor, you said that broken rules are how we get a murderer. What rules did you break?
Well, I'll let you guys in here.
After the murder.
Right. But if you break a rule, like, I don't know, murdering somebody, then you're a murderer on board a train. Therefore, you're a murderer on board a train who broke the rules and murdered somebody. That you're not supposed to murder people on trains. Last I heard, that was illegal, and them's the highest rules. Them's the rules of the land.
Mr. Swift Thunder, are you a magical practitioner of some kind?
Nah. I just punch things really hard. Well, not anymore. I used to back in the days. But now, I make sure people don't punch each other very hard.
Aha.
While they were investigating Mr. Swift Thunder's quarters, I'd like to approach Darlin.
Easy enough.
Darlin, did you do this?
Why would I do this?
I had to check. You might have your own reasons. They're yours. But I need to know so I can get ahead.
Tash, look at me. Do you think that I would survive in prison? I'm soft. I'm a lover. I'm not gonna do well there.
You and I both know you'd figure something out.
That's true.
If you didn't do it, you didn't do it.
I wouldn't lie to you, friend.
Of course. Just covering my bases.
I am keen to find out who did, though. As much fun as this is, I really don't feel like spending a ton of time being questioned and bothered. I have things to do.
So do I. Listen, once we're off of this train, let me know what you need.
Sounds good to me, friend.
After this exchange, and after several of you investigate Sledge's room, the second driver that went into their room earlier comes back out and addresses you, Sledge. Sir, we got in contact with the authorities at Fairhaven. They're going to meet us there with a handful of guards. We should arrive in Fairhaven in about an hour and a half, hour 45.
Right, good. You did good. I'll put you in the hat for a promotion or holiday bonus. Yeah, we'll call it. That's what we'll call it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good job.
And he'll go back to the front with the other driver.
Well, everyone, we didn't find anything to directly implicate Mr. Swift Thunder. It doesn't absolve you completely, sir.
Well, we should work backwards then, towards the dining car.
All right. I think that's a good place to take our break. Everybody, please get up, stretch, hydrate, pet your pets, and we'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll see if our lovely players can find and apprehend Egan Baker's murderer. And welcome back. I hope everyone had a lovely break. We are back with all of our lovely suspects. A murder amongst us. The group just investigated Mr. Swift Thunder's cabin in the employee holds. And I believe their plan was to continue looking around.
Fair, we were going to go in the order that rooms come in, so.
Okay. From the... One second. So, the group, so all the cabin cars are in the same car, and the rough alignment is Pontius, Mr. Tash, Egan's cabin, so that would be Alyndra, Hestor, Mr. Buck, Everhard, Silence, Darling, how would you like to proceed?
You said that Pontius's room was probably like next in line.
I would
Make
say yours
yourselves
is
welcome.
closest.
I have nothing to hide.
All the cabins in first class are lovely and plush. Each has its own water closet with a cistern. And who's entering to search Pontius's room? Darling, Mr. Tash, and Silence.
I will be making sure no one is trying to sneak off while the rest of the group is occupied in the cabins.
As the three of you enter Pontius's room and start to look around, Silence and Darling, you don't really find anything. But Mr. Tash, you see, along with a bunch of books, paper, ink, everything suited for a scholar, especially one as well studied as Pontius. As you're flipping through his bedding, you find an earring underneath his pillow. A very fancy earring, maybe like a gift to a suitor.
I will take this earring, present it to the others that are in this cabin.
You would all recognize it as belonging to Darling from a couple days earlier.
Well,
I never said I had no secrets. It doesn't make me a murderer.
That's how they get you, old man.
Makes me good at what I do.
Well then, please be a little bit more careful. Was there anything in this cabin when you spent time here that might be of note?
Unfortunately, it did prove to be somewhat of a dull evening, so I went back. I didn't spend too much time here.
And were you here last night?
I was.
Can you confirm that Pontius was here with you the entire time?
I mean, I think so. He left a couple of times. I think I assumed to use the restroom, but I don't know for sure.
Those of you not in the room. So, Sledge, Alyndra, Hestor, and Buck. Pontius has 3 small dragons now, just huddling around him. Pseudo dragons. They kind of clamber all over him.
Sledge, are animals allowed on board?
Well, generally no, but sometimes you got them that does a service and such. So sometimes.
Yes, these are my service pseudo dragons. And as far as animals, Hestor, they did allow Egan on board, so.
Right.
Yes, this
well,
is...
we had to let him on board because he paid the most. So, unfortunately, money.
Mm-hmm.
Where did these creatures come from?
Oh, these are my friends. This is Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. I agreed with you, actually, that we should keep an eye on everyone. So they will be my eyes, since you shall soon find that I have nothing to hide. And I will ensure that none of you have anything to hide as well.
Are they gonna just hang around you? Or are they gonna accompany anyone?
They will go where my dog's dropped something. They will go where I see fit.
Perfect. Right now, they just seem alert. And every once in a while, they Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. You'll find their eyes on at least all of you at some point. Ooh.
Well, I'm assuming you didn't find anything other than an earring.
No.
Seems clean.
Well, then I suggest we move on to the next room.
Sure. That would be mine.
Who's investigating? Alyndra? Just Alyndra?
I could take a peek, but I'm not sure any of you smaller people will be fitting around me.
I will take particular interest in this room.
Is it
Knowing
okay
it's-
if I also stand by?
Oh, of course. It is your room.
You would see that the room is immaculate. Almost untouched.
Almost too clean.
And in the center of the bed, if there is a bed, I don't know.
There's a bed. Come
Okay.
on, you're on here
In the
for
center
3
of the-
days.
In the center of the bed is a suitcase. Locked.
Nothing else. Maybe some miscellaneous. Actually, no, it's immaculate. Just a briefcase full of belongings. As
Suitcase.
Mr. Tash said.
Open it.
Now, I only agreed for the room to be investigated. You are not allowed in that suitcase.
Well, the suitcase is in the room. Therefore, by extension, it is a part of the room.
The last time I let someone look into that suitcase, I was cut out of a fortune.
Do you think you have another $1 million idea in there?
With Tash out of the way, probably. Not Tash, sorry, Baker. With Baker out of the way, probably.
I guarantee you that regardless of the nature of your brilliance, I can assure you that you are always going to get nothing.
Hestor, hush your mouth. Now, Taryn, if it make you feel better, I can look in it. But it does need to be open. You are just as much a suspect as I am.
Fine. Only you? I can agree to these terms.
I'll nudge Hestor out of the way and open the suitcase.
One of the Pontius will lean towards Darling, have his own personal side. Darling, tell me you didn't do this.
Why would I do this? I was with you.
I know. I believe you. You know I love you.
I think you're great.
Thanks. So as soon as we get off this train, I promise, whatever you want.
See, that's why I keep you around.
I have DM'd you, Alyndra, what you find in the briefcase.
So you can see why I want to avoid prying eyes.
Actually, no, I can't because I'm not looking in.
That wasn't to you, Hestor.
Oh, you said prying eyes? I thought you said dragon eyes. Pontius, can we borrow your eyes? Just not the ones on your head, because that would probably kill you, and we don't want another one of those. The little dragon thingies, can you send some of them over this way and just, peek a little bit?
Just Lynn.
Well,
I open the suitcase.
you guys can break rules, but I can't. Fine.
And Panduh, you're killing me. And as soon as I see what's inside of it, I slam the briefcase shut. And I slowly look at Taryn. And then my eyes immediately shoot over to Silence. Well, now, I think there's a little bit more to your story that maybe we need to hear.
I'm in the hall.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking out the door.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm an open book. What do you need to know?
So were you and my husband and Taryn in on some other deal that maybe I was unaware of?
Yes. I don't know why you would need to be involved.
What you saw was not recent, by the way.
No, that's, yeah. Well, you'd think after 10 years he would have said something.
Maybe to those who are important.
I'm gonna look back at you, Taryn. And what do you have to say for yourself? I thought we were friends, Taryn.
Yeah.
Don't
Friends.
pick on Mr. Tash. Business is as business does.
Just really quick for me, please. Buck, Tash, Hestor, what's your passives? Passive perception?
14.
18.
And
That would be a 15.
sure. Thank you very much. Carry on. That was just a quick DM thing.
Does that satisfy your curiosity?
Well, no, because no one has actually answered my question.
Can you restate your question for the being that controls me? Kappa didn't quite understand.
No, you're fine. The player realized as soon as I made that face. There's a picture in there of you, Taryn, and Egan, and Silence over here from quite a long time ago, as well as a blueprint. I won't say for what out of respect to your request, but that
Yeah,
respect is slowly quickly dying.
You're mad about a photo?
I
I
want to
will-
know what y'all were involved in.
Well, excuse me for being sentimental, but and I'm a little confused as it washes over my face, the sense of confusion. Open up the briefcase. Huh. Silence. Would you care to explain this? And I'd pass over this 15-year-old photograph with you in the background of me and Baker during happier times.
It looks to be a pretty good photograph of myself, if I do say so. It's not my fault you don't remember me at that occasion, apparently.
And so, would you care to explain why Baker would bring you here on this trip? I know why I'm here.
Why are any of us here? I was hoping that he would pay me back. Business, if you will.
The photograph, please.
She'll hold on to it for another moment and then pass it back.
Put it back in the briefcase. Now, are you satisfied? Lynn, Hestor?
I'll walk
Anything to
out into the-
implicate me.
I'll walk out into the hallway. Doesn't seem like there's anything in this room either that would implicate Taryn as the murderer.
Fortunately for his sake, it seems so. And I'll turn and leave as well.
Beautiful. In light of any recent investigations, are you just going to go right down the line? Or are you going to hop around? Right down.
Line.
We're hopping. I have a few in mind, but Eva?
I'm fine with going down the line, but I'm not fussy.
That
Yeah.
would put us at Mr. Baker, Alyndra's, and Hestor's room. Who would like to look around? Pontius? Pontius, Buck, and Darlin.
As we walk in, Buck would lean over to Darlin and say, "Darlin, I don't care if you did it or not. Your drink's empty." And hand her a flask.
Them.
I will leave Blossom and Buttercup in the hallway to kind of keep an eye out, and I do have a telepathic link, so they see anything. But otherwise, Bubbles is going to come with me and use her keen senses, just to pick up smell or anything like that.
Beautiful. Buck, you are a little distracted as you are pouring Darling a drink. However, Darling and Pontius, you are looking around the room, and there is a chest in there with some kind of sleeping potions. There's also a banner, some kind of military banner, as well as a letter from the Conductor, Sledge, to Mr. Baker.
What does the letter say?
Sledge, what does the letter say?
I imagine the letter says, something along the lines of, I know that you know what happened. And it basically is blackmailing him into getting him onto the train and making sure that everybody who is in his party is suitably accommodated and is happy for their duration, or else.
And can we open the chest?
I don't think it's locked, is it, Alyndra? I don't think so. No, it is not locked. These are some kind of sleeping potions.
Okay.
They're it's probably about a week's worth. A couple have already been emptied.
Well, Mr. Swift Thunder, your level of suspiciousness only increases, doesn't it? And Alyndra, sleeping potions. Does it really come to that? Sad. Although I do wonder about a man who shot twice in the back at point-blank range with his own gun.
Well, suspicious? Me? I mean, you want to talk about suspicious? Well, you look awfully shady now, don't you, Mr. Smarty Pants? I mean, who better to shoot somebody with a gun and somebody with dubious morals and no arm strength? Real easy. Just sneak up on him with your long limbs and go boom, boom. Oh, I guess not, because it was a silencing spell, as you like to talk about. So I never heard it.
Oh, I never use silence. I prefer to be heard.
Is that true, darling? Does he prefer to be heard?
It's kind of annoying, but that's the truth.
Well, there you have it. But, right. Well, I still don't trust you.
That's fine. I don't trust you either.
I want to know what you're implying, Pontius.
I'm directly implying that you put sleeping potion into the man's drink, knocked him unconscious, and then you and or an accomplice shot him twice in the back with his own weapon.
Oh, no. You see, I did pour a sleeping potion in his brandy before I left the bar, but it was to keep him away from that bed swerver over there, and I'm just going to point at Darlin.
I thought you said
took...
you didn't know who I am, so why would you try to keep him away from me?
I knew that his lover was on the train. I didn't know specifically that it was you.
It's okay. You don't have to be jealous. We could be friends.
Jealous? Darling, you think I could ever be jealous of you? Do you even know who I am?
Well, it seems to me like you're a very rich widow now. Can you provide any proof at all that you didn't kill him after you put him to sleep?
Other than the fact that I came back and took my own sleeping potion and fell asleep? And the fact that everybody always suspects the spouse? That'd be pretty stupid for me to commit the murder now, wouldn't it?
Oh, that makes sense. That's why you had the conductor do it.
Oh, you do go on, don't you?
I do.
Oh, darling. Darling. I feel like you need something a little bit more in your head if that's how you gonna talk. And mind who you dealing with. No, there is indeed a murder on this train, and it ain't me, darling.
Well, I guess I can't argue with that.
Very well. Perhaps we should move on to the next cabin then.
The next cabin would be Mr. Buck Everhard.
Y'all go ahead. It's a bit of a mess in there. I'm not sure wherever she went, what she did after I walked out, but go for it.
Who's going in?
I'll pass.
I would like to investigate this one, please.
I refuse.
I don't want those pseudo dragons getting anywhere near that smell.
Go?
I'm sorry, so it's Sledge. And who else? I'm sorry. Sledge, Taryn, and Darling. Oh jeez.
I'm going to stand out in the hall.
So, besides, it's really simple when you walk in here. As Buck said, it's a fucking mess in here. We're not gonna go into too much detail, but it's messy. You all...
Well done, Buck. Very nice work.
All three of you notice hidden, kind of like in between the mess, the sheets, and the like, you find a pocket watch, as well as a photo of Egan Baker and a woman.
I assume that woman is not Alyndra.
It is not Alyndra. It's not a recent photo. Just FYI.
I'm taking my my cane and moving stuff around, not wanting to touch anything, and pointing it at the photo. Mr. Everhard,
Yes, sir.
would you care to explain this photo?
Looks like it's a picture of Egon and a woman.
What does this photo mean to you?
Just a photo I've had for a while. Somebody I know gave it to me, and I've just kind of carried it around. Thought maybe one day, I'd meet the man, and you know how some of us go. We don't have everything. Maybe I'd have some way in. Maybe I'd have a way to see what he's got.
Were you hoping for an autograph, or that doesn't make any sense.
Hey, I've heard things about the man. I know a thing or two, and I don't have everything y'all got, so maybe I just thought I could play it out somehow.
I would, as soon as I hear Buck talking like that, I turn on my heel and I glare daggers at him, and I cross my arms over my chest, and I go, "Well, it seems what he got is 2 shots in the back for his handiwork. Is that really what you want for your life? The man was a right bastard. He's dead. On my train. Not a great way to go. If that's what you want, fine. I can't stop you. But don't think he was some hero, because he wasn't."
Oh, I didn't think he was a hero. I just think he might have had a few things that I could have either come into being with or found their way along to someone else.
Buck, I respect. Game recognizes game. That's all I'm going to say. But at the same time, do you see how maybe that doesn't hold a lot of water?
Well, it may not hold a lot of water, but you guys can see what the room looks like. Y'all saw me when I ran through. I know that Mr. Tash was in the dining car with Egan when I ran through with the young lady. So, as by the look of the room, you can tell I wasn't leaving that room much last night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does Buck bear any resemblance to either of the people in this photo?
Yes. Very much so.
Uncanny.
Both of them, actually.
Like father, like son, I suppose.
You would know, wouldn't you? At least somebody was calling him daddy these years.
I had to keep him warm while you were missing.
Bet that Buck's just gonna sip his drink.
What was the other thing you said? I'm so sorry. What was the other thing you said besides the photo?
There is a pocket watch. If anyone looks at it or takes it out, I would say you would recognize this, darling. You've been hanging out with Egan, and Mr. Tash, you would as well. It bears the Baker family crest, not DeCanneth.
So, if this is just a photo and you've met Mr. Baker already.
I didn't say I hadn't met him. I told you. He might have had some things that could come my way.
So you wouldn't mind if I just took this photo for myself?
Go ahead. Both the people now, I guess, are dead in it, so it doesn't hold much meaning to me.
Well, no, I don't want it. I'm gonna leave the room. Hestor. Did you keep Mr. Baker's affairs in order?
I kept his messes in order, yes.
So you would not know who would inherit the fraud of a company he runs upon his untimely death.
You would have a brief understanding of how the inheritance would work. But it all hinges on whether or not he is accepted into Cannith West. If he is accepted into Cannith West, any assets would go back to the house. Overall. Straight up. If not, and it could be proven, if he's not accepted into the house, and it could be proven that Buck is his actual heir, would go to Buck. If not Buck, it would go to Alyndra.
I think I'm gonna have to apologize while Buck and I are still in the room. But I have to ask. I have to ask. Did you?
No, I didn't know the man. About a week ago, I was called to the manor. I brought the picture. He refuted any claim to who I was or the fact that was my mom and him. When I was dismissed by Hestor, I grabbed the watch on my way out through the study. All of a sudden, 2 days ago, I got an invite. Letter from him saying he wanted to talk some. Come on this train. It's a long way from the brothels. I have no idea what this place is.
Did you get a chance to talk to him?
Not at all. You know what I was doing. It looked like he was too busy showing off his wares. But you would know about his wares, wouldn't you?
All right. I'll exit the room.
Very well. Next room? Or is there anything else you'd like to say?
As I leave the room, I'm just muttering under my breath about my child, my son keeps us from in better condition than this. This is a disaster. But
Your son isn't doing the same things.
Well, I should hope not. I mean, he is a teenager, so maybe, but I think his mother would kill him. Or maybe he'd go blind, one of the two.
The next car is Silence's. Who would like to investigate Silence's room? Pontius? Mr. Tash?
I've been here enough. I don't need to look.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I'm going to go ahead and go into Silence's room also.
Mr. Tash, Pontius, and Buck. Silence, why don't you tell them what they see? Since you're not really hiding anything in here.
No, it's neat. Her suitcases are all empty. Everything has been put away in some fashion or another. On there's not really any table type situations. On, I guess, a small end table by the window, there is a framed letter from Baker thanking me for my help and promising to repay me. That is probably everything of interest.
Well, I always wondered who the people were that actually did put their things away in the drawers provided on a 3-day trip, but I guess we know now.
I can't abide wrinkles.
Punch, let's go back out in the hall. Silence, what is it that you're owed, and for what?
I heard all that conversation about the photograph in Buck's room.
Yeah.
Well, among other things, that boy's mother demanded quite the sum that Baker was not able to come up with on his own.
Pontius will then use message to silence. And you were the solution to that then?
Indeed.
I see.
The only thing you hear out of Mr. Tash is very angrily under his breath. Can't believe he was going to pay you back. Where's my payment? And he storms out the room.
As Buck walks out, he'd look over to Silence. I know you said you're an open book, but by the look of that room, somebody's opening a little more.
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Buck will just walk down the hall.
And I believe there's only one room left, which would be Darling's.
Everybody's welcome in there.
I've got Alyndra, Silence. 1 second. I've got Pontius, Alyndra, and Silence. Okay. What is your
Not that I want to implicate myself, but where the hell have I been sleeping?
You had your car was bigger. You've been in the same car as Alyndra and Baker.
You know, one big happy family, because that's just not weird.
Oof.
It's fine.
Okay.
Sleep at the middle or foot at the bed?
There's a couple beds.
Considering Egan probably was not in the bed most of the time.
There you go.
So it was Alyndra, Pontius, and Silence. Darling, tell them what they find in your room.
I sure will. Let me just double check. Okay. So this room is not that remarkable, although there is kind of this like pop-up vanity that looks brand new. You see lots of kind of scattered wrapping paper, assorted jewelry, another earring, just various trinkets, baubles, fineries.
You also find a bunch of gifts. Anything fancy is definitely a gift from Egan Baker. So perfume, jewelry. There's also a book, a notebook, very nerdy notebook as well, sitting on the table in Darling's room.
Nerdy how?
Oh, as if someone went to a very prestigious college in Sharn type of book.
Yes, this one looks like a very interesting read. I will take this for later.
Darling, my dear. Go for
Yes.
stock options, not this cheap stuff.
I have my own opportunities waiting for me, but this is so much more fun.
I see, I see. You'd rather spread your legs than spread your wings.
I mean,
I see.
yes. Is that a question or?
Just an observation.
Astute.
Y'all hear a announcement come over the intercom of the lightning rail. We will be arriving at Fairhaven Station in about 45 minutes.
Well, we've checked all of the rooms. We have all the evidence we're going to have, I believe. Is there anyone who wants to step forward now?
You know what we did not check? Really? Pockets.
All right. Everyone outturn your pockets, then.
All right. I guess they're just pockets. Can't really fit much in them these days. Get a little tight. And I flip out my pockets, and there's just a lot of pockets on my Conductor's outfit, and some bits and bobs, some like candy, some gum, some keys.
Please
like,
tell me there's lint stuck to a
lint.
mint.
Like just various things that don't make any sense at all.
I mean, I'm wearing a night dress and a robe. I don't have any pockets.
I imagine he just takes like little trinkets from that people leave behind, gives them to his son. So he just kind of like tucks them away and forgets about them.
I turn out my pockets and there is nothing in them whatsoever. Except for maybe a pocket square.
Sounds a little boring, but...
Also turning out my pockets, reaching into my jacket pocket, pulling out a set of Tinker's tools, and also a pocket square.
Buck reaches into his, pulls a few coins out in one hand, nothing out of the other. No, nothing else since you said pockets.
I will remove my jacket and hand it over for inspection to whomever would like to look through it. All you're going to find in there is phone numbers.
Or like addresses.
Room numbers, things like that. I am still holding the mirror that you've been watching me look at myself this entire time.
I sneak in behind Darling and fix my hair in the mirror while she's holding it up. I can see.
Well then.
You know, Silence, you just gave me an excellent idea. There is one other thing we didn't consider.
It's bound to happen eventually. What have you got?
We could ask old Ian himself. Anybody care to join me? And I'm gonna start heading towards the dining hall.
Yeah, all right.
I roll my eyes. Oh, this again. And I follow behind.
Well, this sounds like it's definitely against regulations, so I better go and check it out and make sure things don't get out of hand.
Did she say ask him? Okay, this ought to be interesting.
Are we sure she didn't say axe him, like in the back, again, with an axe? Because that
Did
seems like
you-
something she'd do.
See an axe?
Well, I mean, no, but it was one by the fire escape. Well, it's not really an axe, it's more like a very dull bludgeoning tool. But you could carve a man's head in, but clearly that was not the case, so yeah.
How did you get promoted?
He said something about a hat earlier.
Yeah, I got the hat, see? And I run this train.
Incredible.
Yeah. It's worked pretty well so far. So, no deaths until today. I consider that a win.
So
Everybody's following me then. Sorry.
Sure. So y'all head back into the dining car, which is, as you left it, Baker on the floor, more or less like half on his side, spilled brandy over the counter, and the pistol still on the bar.
When I inspected the pistol earlier, is it still loaded?
Yes.
Does it have the potential to fire?
There are
Okay.
2 rounds left.
Okay.
All right. I will walk up to Egan. And I'm going to reach down the front of my nightdress and pull out this little packet. And I'm going to sprinkle it over the body. And then I'm going to tear a piece off of my thumb and sprinkle the piece of flesh and the drop of blood that comes with it. And as I do, I'm going to say, "Rise up, sweetheart." And you start to see Egan stand up.
Egan's corpse rises from the ground and stares at you, Alyndra.
Now, darling dearest, grab that pistol for me.
Easy, he does so.
Egan, darling,
Mm-hmm.
would you mind holding that pistol up?
Easy.
Silence would like to cast mage armor, please.
You can. Very simple. Is anyone else doing else as Alyndra is talking to Egan?
I've stepped around back behind the bar again, ready to take cover if needed.
I am standing something between slack-jawed and horror. It's like, kind of face. And he is not thrilled with this.
Mr. Tash is going to comment. Lynn, I didn't realize that you still could do this. And that will be your bardic inspiration.
Old habits die hard.
That's 1d8.
Thank you. All right, now, here's the deal. Egan is under my complete control for the next 24 hours, and honestly, you attack Egan, not much is gonna happen. So, if you're the murderer, you can either come clean now, or I find a way to make you come clean.
That's a pretty trick.
Oh, it's not no trick, darling.
Yeah, Egan has the pistol, 2 rounds still in it, just casually standing next to Alyndra.
Buck pours himself another drink at the side of all this, and under his breath just says, "What else you got in that blouse?"
Look, I'm not even sure how that works, but it feels inappropriate to me. I don't know.
Like we've already found out, like father, like son, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, the thing here, darling, is that your father at least had some class, at least in the beginning. Now, as I said, the murderer can either come clean, or I'll find a way to make you come clean. Egan's just an extension of me. I still got my own abilities.
It's all very well and good if you're the murderer now, isn't it?
Trust me, I wish I was, but I'm not.
You're just about to be, or what is this?
I'm not the one pointing the gun.
Always getting someone else to do your dirty work. I like your style.
You would now, wouldn't you? Now, we're all talking pretty. Egan, show them I mean business. Take your pick.
He slowly begins to raise it. And
Now, Alyndra, does he have his memories, or is this you doing this?
What do you expect her to say? The truth?
I mean, that would be helpful. So, did she unmurder him then? Or is he still dead and just shambling about, creepy like? Because if she unmurdered him, which I don't think that's she didn't unmurder him, he's just,
Sledge thinks the same problems are still here. You are still on the line.
Oh, all right. Egan, fire.
Egan, oof, I keep doing that. I apologize, everybody. Egan raises the gun at your quick command, pointing directly above Mr. Tash's head and fires. It is it is not loud. It is completely silent, but it was a little too close for comfort, Mr. Tash.
Now, why would you go and make him do that now, Lynn?
To prove a point. I didn't shoot you, did I?
Guess not.
Well, Alyndra, you only have one more opportunity. Why don't we put the gun down and try going over the evidence and maybe use our brains instead of our undead husbands?
Well, I have to use him for something. He's never good in life for anything.
Now that's debatable.
Are you sure you were sleeping with my husband?
I mean, I did most of the work, but I got paid for it.
I'd like to draw my cane sword.
Easy.
Point it at Baker, but looking over at Lynn. Explain to me why he chose me.
Why
Or
he
else I'm
chose
gonna
you?
kill him a second time.
I take it you're confessing?
No. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that.
Damn it.
Well, the game is over. That's it.
No.
All right.
Or else I'm gonna get to have a hand in his second death.
So explain why he chose you for the blueprint.
Target practice.
Oh, that.
We both know he was trying to hit something. Terrible shot in life, I guess. Terrible shot in death.
I don't know, Taryn. Perhaps he was drawing on his last memory. I don't know. I just told him to aim. I didn't tell him who to aim for.
So it could be random. That brings us no closer.
Pontius, you said to sum up the evidence, right?
I think that's the only logical conclusion.
So we all know, we all have motive to kill my husband. So motive's out the window. It's not going to solve anything. I freely admitted to giving him some sleeping potions to keep him away from Darling over there. Doesn't mean I killed him. Sledge over there is the one that found the body. Sledge is also the one that's been under blackmail.
Don't forget the nasty letter.
Exactly.
So you want us to consider motive, is what you're saying.
I'm saying don't consider motive. We all have motive, Silence.
Blackmail is murder? And motive? M words?
Yes.
So
What
we've
I'm
got to
get-
consider means and opportunity.
Thank you, Taryn.
So, like you, Mr. Tash, being one of the last out of the car that night?
Yes. Opportunity. It's true. I was the last one to see Mr. Baker alive, as far as we know, and as far as anyone is willing to admit.
So you
Was
were the
me.
last one with him, as far as we know. You have full capability of operating the firearm. Expertise, some might say.
Baker wouldn't let me have access to my own designs 15 years ago. What makes you think he would give me access to his firearm now?
I don't think he gave you access. I think you took access. And then you accessed the inside of his body and then extricated blood from it.
Let me tell you what.
Well, let's consider the timeline. I mean, we determined earlier that Egan would have been dead 1 to 5 hours,
Roughly.
which means anywhere from after midnight to right before the body was discovered. So, I was sleeping from the effects of a sleeping potion. What were the rest of y'all doing?
Allegedly.
Hestor, can you confirm Alyndra?
No, I cannot. I was in Silence's cabin.
And what were
See.
you doing over there?
Oh, like I need to spell it out for you.
I mean, some
Buck
of us wouldn't
raises
be
a glass
averse
to
to the
Hestor.
details if you're just gonna share. Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I believe the train is approaching the station. We should move on.
Right.
You
And
But
with the
that does
station
cover
comes
me
the guards.
as well.
You can see the city in the distance, but you're not there yet.
Well, I fear this may go as an unsolved murder. Unless anyone's willing to speak up or do anything besides shoot idly at each other.
There is 1 bullet left.
You can't have a duel with 1 bullet. So there's no dueling it out. I mean, we could punch it out. Who wants to punch it out? Anybody? No? Oh, need a good workout.
I could be sport for that. And I find you highly suspect.
Right. Esther, you couldn't be sport for much, let alone me. But that's cute, you think you can.
It sounds like they have their athletics on lock, just in the after hours.
And what were you doing late at night, Sledge?
Sledge, what were you doing?
Panda.
Panda, are you there?
Sledge, answer the question.
What were you doing at the time of the murder?
Well, I was sleeping. I mean, do you have any idea how much energy it takes to keep this thing generally alive and murder-free?
You've literally been with us the entire time. It has taken no effort for you whatsoever.
That's not true. My brain hurts quite a bit.
I think the hat's too tight.
Well, that might be. I don't make them. I'm not a hat maker. I'm a conductor. Come on. You're a smart one.
Well, is there anybody that can corroborate your story?
Would I have been able to see where Sledge had gone?
After he left the dining car? Or when?
Yeah, and so would he have retired in the direction of their quarters?
Yes.
Okay. And I did not notice Sledge when I had left the bar.
You would have seen him. You were one of the last people to see Baker alive. But yeah, you would have seen Sledge go off in the direction of the employee car. You can't confirm it, but that's the direction he went.
Okay. I will make that known in a way that is eloquent and fitting of Mr. Tash.
So, Sledge, you had perfect access to the victim. Past even any of us, where we wouldn't have seen you. You were being blackmailed. Apparently using this gun isn't so difficult, according to Mr. Tash.
Right. I mean, that's why he made it.
Right.
It was easy.
You agree.
It killed people, and he liked money. I mean, he was in the war, I was in the war, you know. Things happen, people die, weapons
So you
get
killed
made. Like, no, well, not anymore.
Wait,
Not
I'll get
anymore
paid
as
for
of
that.
last night.
Oh, no, not anymore. It's in, like, a lot of years. I have a great job. I've got a family to think of.
And a
War,
very
I
tight
could-
hat.
did
Yeah.
you say
Maybe.
war?
Right. War, you know, that thing where people try and murder each other over something important.
For those of you who are not familiar with the Eberron setting, the continent just got out of a 100-year war. It just ended 4 years ago, but was officially ended 2 years ago with the signing of the treaty at Thronehold.
After Sire just... went away.
Yeah, just imploded on itself. You know, monarchy, lines of succession, all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Magic atomic bombs.
Yeah, magic atomic bombs in the Mournlands. We're not going to talk about that.
It's not this game.
Not this game.
Anyone who knows my husband knows he wasn't in the war.
But
He was a coward if he was nothing else.
But he did manufacture weapons for the war.
He created weapons that were used to kill people you cared for. I'm seeing more motive here.
That's true.
Now, hold on just a minute here. Like I said, I like my job. I've got a fancy hat and a family. Why would I go throwing all that out the window for some jerk like Brecker? I mean, sure, it would feel great, but, you know, so would a lot of things, like a plate full of cheese,
I would
really fresh bread.
like to approach Sledge as close as I can get to eye level. Now, Baker sold weaponry, but I was the one that designed it. I have more responsibility in this war than anyone else. How does that make you feel?
Well, not great. Life's been hard for me ever since. You know how long it took me to find this job? Nobody wants a wounded old soldier. No, that's a bad look. It's all your fault, but you ain't dead. Brecker is. Them is the breaks. Or breakers.
You hear over the intercom. 20 minutes until you arrive at Fairhaven Station.
I do not believe it was Mr. Swift Thunder here.
The man really likes his hat.
Oh, well, if you two say so.
Buck,
Yes.
you hear in your head. I know for a fact you're lying. You wanted so bad to have my husband recognize you for who you are. I was the one that told Hestor to turn you away at the house. You have more motive than the rest of us now, don't you? You have opportunity. You have the knowledge. And nobody's gonna suspect the person that's banging every living body that's on this train. The rest of you just see me kind of like picking at my nails. Like, I'm bored at this point and frustrated.
And all you see is Buck smirking, sipping on a drink.
You can respond if you want. This is not sending, so you do not have a word limitation.
Buck would simply reply, "You know I had nothing to do with this. You know I can wait my time." And that's it.
Well, at this point, we could just call this democracy and take a vote of who we think the murderer is. Or we can just call this a wash. It doesn't really seem like we're getting anywhere.
As long as it's not me, I have the most to lose. Being labeled a murderer.
Egan did seem to indicate it might be you, however.
And all the evidence points towards Mr. Swift Thunder, and yet you're the first one to step up and proclaim his innocence, as if you might have a guilty conscience.
My conscience is clean. I know what I did. I freely admit to it.
The sight outside the windows is becoming less crowded in terms of vegetation and entering a large field, and you are getting close to the city.
Then you did do it.
No, but I wish I did. He cut me out of my own design.
All right, so you might as well go to jail for it. Easy peasy, we're done.
All of us have had a hand in this war. So many of you, so many, have blood on your hands. Why should I be the one to go?
I don't have any blood on my hands.
Shut
Yeah,
up,
speak for yourself.
Eberhard.
Hestor, honestly, like a broken clock, I'm willing to agree with you twice a day. Who do you think it was?
Much as I have a distaste for Mr. Tash, the evidence points to Mr. Swift Thunder.
And I agree with that. Mr. Swift Thunder, I see someone else wearing that hat in the near future.
I don't. I see me wearing me hat in my future. But I'm not a oracle, So, unless you are, then I'll be asking you the question. But if you're an oracle and you could see things like that, then you should be able to see the past and who did this.
It's really hard threatening you. I want you to know that.
Silence is going to hold out her hand towards the conductor and just stare at him for a moment. I see jail in your future. There, we're done.
She has many talents.
Sounds like it.
Well, except apparently predicting the future.
All you have to do is wait a moment.
Well, I'm more than willing to wait. Fairhaven's a great place to stop.
I'm willing to cast my vote, and I don't need privacy to do it. I believe it was Mr. Swift-Thunder. There.
Sure.
All in favor?
What?
We're voting if we think Sledge did it.
Yeah.
Buck, where's your vote being cast? I didn't see your hand raised.
Buck's not casting a vote. He knows he didn't do it and honestly doesn't care. He didn't know the man.
Well, Mr. Swift-Thunder, it seems near unanimous. Are you going to come quietly?
Oh, of course not. Why would I?
I would like to cast Hold Person.
Mr. Swift-Thunder, please make a saving throw. What is the save DC and throw silence?
Wisdom 15.
Oh, Panda, that look.
No, that's like a 5.
Oh. You feel your body stiffen up as magic takes hold of you. What is the group doing?
I cross my arms, like, before it fully sets in, and I just, like, disappointed dad face.
Oh.
I would like to remove his hat.
Oh, I'm not angry. Oh, I'm just really disappointed that y'all aren't smarter than this.
So it's coming out like as you're trying to speak.
Like, in really, like, deep, rumbly, orcish.
I would like to cast Grease under him and push him over.
Oh. Are you okay with this, Panda?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Easy enough.
Now, we don't need any more out of you now, do we?
We should probably tie him up.
Agreed.
I would say this is a simple feat.
Mr. Swift-Thunder, you can give 1 grunt for yes, 2 grunts for no. Are there chains or ropes inside of the off-limits area?
Do you honestly think between Darling and Buck we don't have rope?
Valid.
I was just gonna offer my services, but I mean, it seems like y'all got it covered.
I think her room's closer, but yeah,
There.
his room there.
Oh,
There.
for sure. He just gives kind of a grunt of, like, amusement. Like, yeah, they do. Because it's them. Like, he's not even mad at this point. He just finds this hysterical.
I have serious concerns about Sledge as a player.
So, I'm assuming that you all tie up Sledge.
I'll go to my room and retrieve some really furry handcuffs.
Oh, jeez. Easy, easy. Very easy. You appropriately restrain Sledge in the handcuffs as the lightning rail arrives at Fairhaven Station. You are all met with about 5 of the Fairhaven Guard who take Sledge away for questioning and interrogation. Now, do you want a quick epilogue on what everyone does? We'll start with Sledge. Do you mind if I describe yours since you are going off to the authorities.
By all means, please be my guest.
Sledge, you are taken away in handcuffs to the Fairhaven prison. They currently don't have any evidence on you, so you're going to be held for the time being as they look into the case. Alyndra.
After leaving the train, I would have taken Blue Shield and Hestor, if they so willed it, and gone back to my home. I mean, all the paperwork is in order. I have whatever's left over. And I live my life.
Hestor, are you doing anything different than what Alyndra described?
Well, I was the retainer to Master Baker, not to his lovely wife. So I assume I'm out of a job. And, I suppose I need to find something else to do. Miss Silence, are you in the market for a retainer?
Indeed, I am.
Perfect.
Let's segue into Silence then.
Silence continues about her business with some new assistants.
Mr. Everhard?
Well, since he didn't get to join the right family and I am now the heir, Buck has a nice little tidy sum that he can try and find and fights it to make sure he can get the money and lives his life pretty well in the now the owner of the brothel that he once was raised in by his mother, who knew Egan very, very well, obviously.
Mr. Tash. You're muted.
At first, Mr. Tash, will have retrieved the briefcase from his room and the case out of the cargo, and would have presented new schema and blueprints for an even better design of the firearm. Never really sure of who did in Mr. Baker, but I imagine he gets all the prestige he deserved many, many years ago.
Pontius.
Pontius returns to his cabin, and he retrieves the blood-covered shift weave that he had seen Darlin wearing before. He uses prestidigitation to clean it and stows it carefully away, ensuring that on his way out he sends a message to Darling saying, "I did mean it when I said I would do anything for you."
And Darling. Oh, Darling.
Well, I allow Pontius to clean up after me, as is my typical MO. And I'd like to imagine that we go away somewhere very far away for quite a while.
And with that, we conclude Murder on the Eberron Express.
Woo!
Well played, well played. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this lovely murder mystery. I would just like to thank all my players for doing such a phenomenal job in being sus as hell. Sorry, Panda, that you got framed. I'd also like to reiterate that this game was created by Orla Dhuill, at Naturally Orla on Twitter. you can purchase the module on DM's Guild. I have put the link in the chat. Now, hi everybody. I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. I am a player on Open for Adventure, and I am currently playing in Numenera Remnant on O4A. We start back up the 14th of Saturday. Is it Saturday? 8:30 Eastern start. The floor is open. Who would like to go next, or should I popcorn?
I can go ahead. I'm top left.
Beautiful.
Hi, everybody. I'm Derek Sword. I also play on O4A, and if you'd like to find me there, you can do so tomorrow morning at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, where I'll be playing at Ashes of Aspirin with the very lovely and very talented Kris. It's a much sadder story, even sadder than this one, surprisingly. So definitely check that out. Normally on Friday evenings, I'm on Graham Cracker's channel, where I play a Bugbear Druid in the Gold Chain Investigation Agency. That is 8 p.m. on normal Fridays. I am also the co-host of the podcast Monster Crush, which, if you enjoy monsters and think that they all deserve smooches, check it out wherever podcasts are found. We always take a deep dive into different types of cryptids and creatures and things from folklore, and ask if they'd be good on a date. And I think that's it for me right now. Yeah. I nominate Kris to go next.
Okay, I'll go next. Wow, you guys. I win. This is the first time I've ever won D&D, and I win. My name is Kris. I'm trying to lift out of this person that I just was for 3 hours. My name is Kris. You can find me on Twitter at Kiss of Hemlock. That's honestly where I talk about the stuff that I'm doing. However, you can catch me on Saturdays, like Derek mentioned, at 10:30 Central, playing an equally sneaky person. Now that I think about it, they have that in common, but otherwise very different. I also am part of a podcast called Rules as Written that comes out every other Monday. Currently also on the Nerdsmith channel. We just started a new season of Shenanigans, also playing somebody wildly different than this. But then again, maybe not. Do I have the thing? Is there something? Do I need to investigate this? Anyway, but yeah, you can keep up with me on Twitter. That's the easiest way. Or come hang out on the Open for Adventure Discord.
Popcorn it.
Let's do Eva.
I'm losing my headphones. Why would you do that?
Oh no, sorry.
I'm Eva. Disaster. You can find me at on Twitch at Evasarate, or Twitter, Instagram at the Evasarate. I have the pleasure of crying most Sundays over on O4A as part of the Death Keepers campaign. Upcoming on some channel or another is a quasi-secret project. I don't know exactly how secret, but to be updated soon, I guess. To be determined soon. Lord, I feel like there was something else important. Extra Life over on O4A. At some point, I think a lot of us are going to be over there. I don't have it pulled up. I think it's 3 p.m. Central or something. I don't know, it's 24 hours. Just tune in on November 7th and you'll see some cool people doing something. I'll be there at some point. Yep.
I completely forgot. Let's backtrack and say your favorite part.
Balls.
I forgot too.
Should I still go?
Yeah, just give yours.
Yeah.
Give
okay.
It.
My favorite part was Panda. Period.
Kris?
Oh gosh, so many good ones. I think my favorite part was, I'm gonna have to say, the repartee with Alyndra, keeping me on my toes. That was a lot of fun for me, so that was probably the sass, the ultimate sass.
Derek?
I loved Hestor, and I loved the back and forth. That was so much fun. Also, I also had a running tally of everybody where I was just writing sus in bigger letters next to all of your names. Until I found out, but yeah.
My favorite part was the scene with the suitcase in Tash's room with Alyndra and that whole exchange. Eva, do you want a popcorn? Next person.
Alyndra.
Hi, I'm Dax. You can find me on Twitter at GM_Dax. I am the GM and producer of a podcast, a Genesis actual play podcast called Roads Uncharted, which I have a couple of players here in this game with me. Other than that, I mean, I really don't do much. I world build and things, and I am still, a few months later, trying to figure out how to use Twitter. It's fine. It's totally fine. I will be in Extra Life doing a panel on how to find your character's voice at 2:30 p.m. Central, I think. I'm pretty sure. Like Eva said, it's 24 hours. Just pop in. I mean, we've got games, we've got panels. It's going to be great.
That's right. It's right after Ashes.
Yes, right. Yes,
Yeah.
I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I think my favorite part, not gonna lie, was Derek naming his pseudo dragons after the Powerpuff Girls.
The pseudo
lost
puff
it.
dragons.
I lost it. The pseudo puff dragons. I lost it. Kappa.
Hello, my name is Kappa. You can find me on Twitter at the Kappa Kris, where I will, I update on all of my projects and nerd out about a bunch of just everything. So many things. Saturdays at 5:30 Pacific, Numenera, where I play a sus character. Is Verve, the risk-taking Jack who touches the ding-dang sky.
Very sus.
Very sus. And then also Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, I play another sus character, Echo, the Tiefling Rogue Ranger, who's involved in not Eva's character Silence, but the Silence, a thieves guild, secret organization, shadow organization. Dax had mentioned Roads Uncharted. I'll be joining in season 2. We've already got a couple recordings down, so look out for that. And Extra Life. I'm in 2 things. I'm in the panel that Dax had mentioned about finding voices. So I've got a lot of them. I've got a lot of voices. And then a chill and chat with Seth, where we honestly don't know what we're going to be talking about yet. We have some idea, but nothing is super nailed down. And that's just kind of where the beauty of the conversation is going to go.
All I know is McNuggets are involved.
Anyway.
According to your promo image?
Anyway. Favorite tonight? Oh, it's gotta be all the innuendos and like just like references to hanky panky going on. It was a lot of fun, just dancing around it and seeing everyone's reactions. Because of course there would be, right? Of course there would be. Anyway, I'd like to popcorn over to dear old Mitch.
Hi, I'm Mitch D. This is my first stream ever, so I don't do much except for this so far. You can find me on MitchD78 on Twitter. I really kind of just follow all these people and the shenanigans that they provide for me, and hype a lot of my friends because these guys are all amazing. I will go ahead and bring up the Extra Life because I am one of the suckers at the midnight shift. So that is midnight Saturday morning Central. We will be saving corgis from a dastardly death zone. We are just a hot mess waiting to happen, and I highly doubt we're even going to find the dog. I'll be surprised if it happens. So join us there, I guess. And again, favorite part, I don't know. I loved all of it. Like the interactions between everybody, I just found myself so in awe. Half the time I was like, oh, I should be doing something. But couldn't because I was laughing too hard or keeping up too much with everything. So I just have to say the sass. Everybody's sass, because I don't think anybody got out of here without getting an oof or just dropped bombs on. So thank you all. It was an absolute blast. So I'm going to send this one over to Panda because I know this was the first there too.
Well, thank you, Mitch. Hey, everybody, this is Panda speaking. Your conductor for tonight has been Y. Yeah, this is, as Mitch mentioned, my first stream game with these lovely people. Everybody take a bow virtually because you are all fantastic. Yeah, I'm fairly new to the TTRPG sphere. I just throw my love and support behind people who are amazing. I don't have many things in the fire right now, so I got nothing to really throw at you. You can follow me on Twitter if you like. At Soggy Boglord. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Everybody had fun. I hope. My favorite part was probably the scene with Alyndra doing some necromancy, I'm assuming, and just going ham on it. And that was just like a picture perfect, like the moment in a mystery scene where something just turns at the very end towards the end, and it's just that moment where it goes from being everything goes from being just pointing fingers to somebody's grabbing that knife, somebody's taking action, and that was really cool. So thank you. And that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for letting me be here.
And last but not least,
Me, Wren. Hi. Like I said, I'm Wren, and I stream on my Twitch channel at Thorny Dryad. You can also find me on Twitter at the same handle. And yes, that's like a prickly bush. I am also involved in some RPGs online. You can find me Sundays in the Death's Keepers campaign over on Open for Adventure. I play the role of Devereaux Thistlebrook, a halfling fighter sorcerer. Ooh. I also play the voice of a character called 8 in the podcast that Dax mentioned called Roads Uncharted, a Genesis actual play podcast. And I will also be in the Extra Life stream coming up here on Open for Adventure. I will be GMing a session of Genesis and also participating in a 5th edition game. So you can have 2 chances to see me if you care for it. Otherwise, whatever, I don't care. And besides that, I may be involved in Secret Project and other things, but it's a secret. My favorite part, or at least one of my favorite parts, was when we were investigating all of the rooms and we got to Buck Everhard's room and nobody wanted to go in. It's absolutely gold.
Kind of hurt my feelings.
You were a mess. You brought it upon yourself. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming out, and maybe keep an eye on my Twitch channel. Maybe I'll have more games running in the future. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, have a lovely, lovely evening, and we will see you next time.